What's up, y'all? It's popping in. Today about to react to this vid. It's how the reasons men secretly hate women. Oop. Oop. Alright, we're gonna see what was said. I recently discussed this topic in a video, and someone left a comment and was like, Andy, react to this vid since you're talking about the topic. Dive deeper into it. So I was like, okay, let's get into some things. So let's hear what they have to say on this vid. Let's watch.
This tweet just went viral on X about men hating their girlfriends. This guy says, that phase where you slowly start hating your girlfriend is crazy. Ladies, I've been saying this for forever. Right. You have to be very careful about this girlfriend term because men will hate your guts and stay in the relationship. Why? Because he gets to use your body. You know the saying, men will bleep a hole in the wall. So he literally doesn't like you. You're in this, you're obsessed with him, you like him, you're thinking about marriage, maybe kids, you're designing your wedding. The guy doesn't like you, he's just using your body for now until he can upgrade from you. So if you want marriage, be very careful about hopping into this girlfriend thing. This guy, he also gets 107,000 likes from other men who apparently relate to this phase of hating their girlfriend. So this is apparently some common thing going on in the modern male. Careful, because men will use you to upgrade themselves. Let me say that again. Men will use you for the time being until they can upgrade, and then they'll leave you in the dust and they won't care at all. You better be careful about who you give your time to.
Hello and welcome or welcome back. Do you think that some men secretly hate women? Well, that's the topic of today's video. Yeah, is it far-fetched that some men hate their wives or girlfriends and stay only in the relationship because of whatever benefit they get from her? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'll be right back with my own opinion.
That phase when you start slowly hating your girlfriend is crazy. This has 97 million views, 28,000 reposts, 62,000 quotes. So let's talk about it. When I saw this viral Twitter feed, I thought, wow, this is perfect. I can now include men's perspectives. Let's see how it goes. When she keeps reminding you about her birthday and it hits you that you have to buy her a gift. When you have to tell her to dress more modestly, but deep down you're tired of seeing her body because she's not as hot as your new girl. When you cheat on her and she forgives you for the 6th time. Yeah, she sounds like the problem. When she holds your hand in public and you
And that's crazy because, yeah, I feel like some men will cheat because they're trying to get out of the relationship. And they'll be sloppy with it and, like, try to leave evidence so that you find it. Instead of just telling you, hey, I don't fuck with you anymore. I don't want to be with you anymore. They take the coward route. Like, all right, I guess I'll just cheat on her and do my own thing. I'm gonna act like I'm single. I guess she's in a relationship. I'm not.
Cutting it off. Charming. It's like the more you hate her, the more she loves you back. Let's compare these to some of the women's comments. First night home with our baby born via C-section, our newborn was crying the whole first night. My now ex literally said, if you can't take care of it, then maybe you shouldn't have had a kid. Like, right, we didn't plan for this and have one together.
Ain't no fucking way.
Ex told me to just be quiet and watch TV so he could sleep while I was in labor with our daughter. After my second child was born, my ex-husband dropped the car at the hospital so that I could go to the store on my way home from having a baby. When my son was born, it was 36 hours of labor and an emergency C-section at 11 p.m. He left to celebrate and left me alone as a new mom. Men could come up with equally degrading stories about women. Women versus men feminism doesn't get us anywhere. You're right.
I agree with that as well. And also, at the same time, although these particular men that they're referencing are horrible, if these are even real, sometimes people just be lying, but sometimes they're telling the truth. So the men are horrible, but also it's like, he didn't just start being horrible overnight. Like, you ignored all the red flags and the signs. He showed you he was a terrible person, usually way before you even had a child with him. So there has to be some, kind of responsibility taken as well. Like, why did I ignore all those signs? And I had a baby with this idiot, and look, he's still acting stupid, because that's usually what happens. People think that having a kid will improve a relationship or make them act right or act different or treat you better. And no. You saw those signs. Nobody just starts acting like that out of the blue.
Let's go back to the men's thread. When she says talk to me and you know she's not worth the effort, so you just tell her it's fine. To be honest, this is real. You'll be feeling like your girl is irritating. That's the reason why most of us men cheat in marriages or relationships. Women are boring.
All right, just be
Lads are expressing themselves emotionally and the ladies are shooketh. I think we have different ways of expressing ourselves. A man doesn't love a woman more than he loved her the very first time he saw her. With men, love doesn't grow. They only start admiring other things like your cooking skills and perhaps social skills. Just say you're looking for a free cook. My ex-husband used to say, if I have to clean, then what's the point of having you here? When you're trying to hold back the happiness when she's crying because you hurt her.
Oh, that's evil.
Her tears give you joy because she went through your phone and found out you cheated on her. When you bring issues out of everything just to make her tired of you. So instead of just breaking up with her, you gaslight her into thinking she's the problem.
Cowards.
Men literally act like this and then blame women for not dating them. These comments are terrible, but also, you picked him. Abusive men will be kind at first. Once they get comfortable with you, then they will treat you however they want.
I agree with that, but we cannot always use that example. I've been on this earth for a very long time, and every single terrible boyfriend I've had, it's not like they just started doing that just out the blue. They gradually start showing you their real selves. I agree that sometimes you will have people who, are gaslighting you and love bombing you and pretending to be this great person in the very beginning, but nobody can keep up that act for too long. Like, we're flawed human beings. Our true selves start to come out. So slowly but surely you start to pick up on signs that they ain't shit, and eventually it just comes out completely. But you have to pay attention to those signs. That's the biggest piece of advice you can ever take in dating. Pay attention to the signs. So I don't feel like there's that many master manipulators out there who are so perfect 24/7 and you just never see it for years on end. That's cap, bro. They showed you just weren't paying attention and you ignored the signs.
Why is the focus on women choosing bad partners and not the deadbeat men?
This is also, I hate this standpoint as well. It's because we don't live in a perfect world, that's why. So you also have to prepare people to take care of themselves and to make good decisions. If we lived in a perfect world, then of course we would just condemn the evil people and only put focus on them and never even address at all how women can protect themselves. I think that's to point out that, hey, you can protect yourself, right? You could do X, Y, Z as well. Like, you can avoid these type of people. I'm not an advocate of coddling people, especially grown adults. Like, at some point you have to learn,
Being bad partners. TikTok is the reason
And also you can do both. You can condemn the evil people, but also be like, okay, girl, he showed you this sign, that sign, cheated on you 20 times, and you still had it. You can still point that out as well. Like, hey, do better, pick better. Let's want better for ourselves. Let's try to improve our own self-esteem. You can do both.
I learned what emotional abuse was and have been slowly ripping the Band-Aid off since 2020. Men, stop getting mad at us and direct that energy to your male friends and family who do this. Thank you. Grown men need to listen to the people around them and do better. A systemic change is needed to keep young men and boys from perpetuating this.
Asking guys questions about their girlfriends. So here we go. When is her birthday?
July, 21st?
How long y'all been together?
No? But July 20 what?
29.
July 29.
Oh,
That's
my
right.
goodness.
I'm so sorry.
What are the names of her siblings?
Andrew and
Videos like that always make me think about men who toss up that women are who initiate divorce talking points with no critical analysis or thought about why that is, in an attempt to make women seem like heartless creatures incapable of true love, and men, the victims, being left to shrivel up and die alone. Because it is things like that, coupled with other so commonly occurring behaviors that they're able to be joked about and everyone laughs and relates because they all know it to be true, like men not being able to clean properly, not being able to prepare their own meals, not being able to plan anything, failure to kinkeep, etc., that serve as such stark examples as to why. Having mainstream conversations about men's emotional intelligence and the facets of making a relationship successful that don't pertain to just making money is still so new that it's actually funny there are people who believe it's shocking. A lot of men don't offer the necessary tools to keep a relationship healthy. Money isn't all it takes. It matters, but it isn't what fulfills you. You don't know your girlfriend's birthday,
Why is she
the name
talking
of
like a
her
robot?
siblings, her middle name, the color of her eyes, her job. What intimacy outside of sex do you have? What have you actually connected over? You're standing next to a stranger. You can't even pretend your special moments together were special because you don't care enough to remember them.
that's wild.
And those are the bare minimums. hardly spectacular. I can only imagine what else you were dropping the ball. Years of that much emotional neglect eventually weighs on people. Some people it doesn't, and they move past it due to genuinely not caring or thinking this is as good as it's going to get, so I'll deal with it. But are you really surprised that there are people who'd grow exhausted of that and want to be with partners who fully show up for them?
Right.
It's Friday, so here's a thread of men who hate the woman they're with. Shout out to Kate Eland, who compiled this Twitter thread of men who melt down over their wife or girlfriend's careers. First up, the guy who humiliated his girlfriend for talking about Minecraft in front of his friends. There's a guy who wanted to dump his girlfriend because she collects bones and poisonous plants and has her own lab. There's a guy who told his family not to be impressed by his girlfriend's PhD because she wrote fan fiction and he only had a BA. The guy who found out his girlfriend was paying her bills as a romance novelist and told her she should be ashamed of herself.
We're liking this info.
The guy
I don't really
who
like
his girlfriend for enjoying
these
doing
threads
her
too
makeup.
much because you don't know
Never ever want to see you succeed.
if it's
I used to go
true.
around asking men for advice about getting married, and now that I'm 4 years in, I realize that a lot of these men
Wait, is this sped up, bro? No.
like their wives. After I posted that video, this comment read, "Can you talk more about liking your wife?" So many men seem to generally dislike and seem to be annoyed by women they love but don't like. What I've both seen and learned as I've grown is that men will marry women who serve them even if they don't like them. That's how patriarchy conditions them. For example, if you ask a cis man what he likes about his partner, he'll soon begin listing the ways in which she serves him. You know what I mean? Like, I think society conditions men to not like women. Like, you love them, you feel a sense of duty towards them, you get one and you take care of them because that's what men do, we're taught. And you're hearing your whole life from church, the men in your life, the media, that women talk too much, they don't listen, they're disagreeable, they're emotional. Cis men tend to like other men in non-romantic ways. They like being around their guys and spending time with them. And sometimes these men talk to each other about
And you just look at the comments of any video that's up that talks about female male relations, and you just see the people complaining and talking shit about women don't take accountability. That's because y'all do da 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 da. All these negative things. They just have these crazy negative perceptions about women as well.
how much they don't.
Obviously, these are not all men, but though it's just like I could never be so annoyed with men as a gender to where I'm online running my talking negatively about them, or even when I have conversations in my real life, I don't feel the need to bash men or put men all under one umbrella. Like, when I'm reacting to these videos, we're talking about these specific people who do XYZ. But you literally have people who are just like, well, women do this or they do that. And a lot of them act like as if you met a lot of women, like out of all the billions of people on the planet. You still talk. A lot of them do da-da-da.
Like their wives. But men will marry women who serve them, who are submissive and obedient and who know their place. Because as I've said, in the eyes of patriarchy, there can be no relationship without control. All liking someone as is feeling attraction towards them or taking pleasure in them, delighting in them. Like, I like my wife. I like talking to her and being around her. Even if we're not doing stuff together, I feel better knowing that we're occupying the same space. I like her laugh and the way she speaks. Sometimes I just like watching her exist. Something about it fills me up, inspires me, reminds me. Like, she's my person, my favorite person. Seeing her makes me feel happy and safe. Yes,
that's why you should not be offended when a man says that you're his best friend. I just talked about this on a video. What was it? The Kendrick and the Kendrick relationship video where, you know, the woman was claiming that Kendrick's relationship was a hot mess, and she's like, he calling her his best friend, that's a problem, and he don't look at you like, you know, you his woman. He's like downgrading you, and I'm just like, that's so stupid. Because I feel like that's a compliment if a man calls you his best friend, or even a woman calls her partner her best friend. That means that they enjoy you and they actually like you as a person. They like being around you.
People that argue
Which
sometimes
is not always the
annoy
case.
each other. But because we like each other, it doesn't take long for either of us to begin a resolution. Because who wants to not be talking to someone they actually like for the sake of pride? Thank you for watching, and like and follow for more content. Asking men for advice about getting married, and now that I'm 4 years in, I realize that a lot of these men didn't like their wife.
Hey y'all, so that young man I just stitched brought up an amazing point, and I'm so happy to hear a man admit to this and say this out loud. So go back and watch his original video, but he did a thing and he found out that, you know, men don't like women. His married friends don't like their wives. I've been saying this for years.
Even her, the way that she's talking, and first off, she just seems so excited to talk about this topic, and men don't be liking they, like, I would never just say that as if I'm speaking in general terms. And like I said, even when people be like, well, most, or that's usually the case, I just feel like that's ridiculous.
Listen, I love men, good men. I love good men that are real men. But the rest of them, I'm like, ugh. One of the things I discovered years and decades ago, actually, is that men don't really like women. So many men hate their wives.
See, even to say so many, I hate when people speak like that. You have not met so many people. There are so many, literally so many people. There are billions of people on this planet. So to even speak as if you somehow have this great knowledge of the world, this great intelligence to where you can tap into these statistics and understand how each of these people act. And, oh yeah, these are the statistics, there's billions. Okay, well yeah, most of them act this way. Like, I feel like that's so ignorant.
If you ever like in the workplace and you hear a dude talking about his wife, it's always very disparaging comments. It's like crazy. It's like, bruh, do you not even like your wife? What the? You know, men don't like women. This is totally my conjecture, so do with this what you will. A lot of times men don't like women because we're not men. They want men, but they can't admit it due to societal pressures. So many men, I just want to go up to them and say, dude, just say that you're gay. Like, it's okay, it's all right. But they can't, and they feel pressure, so they blame us because they can't be who they really are. That's conjecture number one. Number two, the men that actually do get married, again, this is not all men, but this is a huge majority of them, feel trapped.
How do you know that?
They feel trapped in a marriage. They really don't want to do it. They want to be free, but they're doing their societal duty, so to speak, in being married. So, of course, they resent their wife for taking away their freedom. Men also want to everything that moves. Again, not all, but a whole lot of them. So they resent.
Is she trying to correct herself a little bit by saying not all, but then a lot of, again, how do you have that knowledge? When you start talking like that, it goes in one ear and out the other. Anybody, when they say most or a lot, you don't have that knowledge, stupid. It's impossible to even get those statistics, dummy. Who are you? You're one insignificant person in this huge, massive world, and you up here talking about most people do this and most Americans. It's my real noise coming from. A lot of people, a lot of women, most of
their wife for not allowing them to loot in your decisions because you're not missing anything.
So many people in the comments are telling me that men at their jobs are fine with return to the office because they hate their families and they don't want to be around them. That at lunchtime or when they're hanging out with their friends by the water cooler, they're talking about how much they don't like their wife, they hate their kids, they hate being home, so they are ready to be back in the office. I personally have not heard these kinds of things myself, but have you guys heard that at work?
Men hate women so much, and it is so strange. Also, cat.
I do want to hear what other people got to say.
Like, the amount of times I've seen different videos or different tweets or whatever of men, like, threatening to unalive their girlfriends.
Oh, my God.
Like, there was a giant trend on this app not too long ago of, like, whimsical music in the background while all of the text read was, wouldn't it be, like, so funny if I pushed my girlfriend off a cliff? Wouldn't it be, like, so funny if I just strangled my fiance? Wouldn't it, like, be so funny if I shoved my girlfriend out of a moving car and left her? Why?
Men marry women that they don't love often. We talk about this so much thanks to this app. It's more aware now. And I remember seeing this viral video of this older man, and his message was to younger men, telling them, do not marry the woman that you want. Instead, marry the woman that wants you. Because the woman that wants you is going to be more committed to you. She's going to want to stay with you more. And rather than the woman that you want, because the woman that you want likely doesn't want you back the same way. And just hearing that, it's like, that's not fair. That you're being with a woman, taking advantage of her. Because unless you tell her to her face, saying...
Yeah, that's all. That advice is always given to women as well. Look, I'm just trying to equal the scale. I'm trying to equal the scale and just give all perspectives, all right? But I've heard that my entire life. I feel like my own mama has even probably told me that. I might be making that up. Maybe it was my auntie, I don't know. But I definitely recall always hearing that you should be with a guy who likes you more than you like them. Like, that's very common in my family, to be told that. So, I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm actually in love with you the way that you are with me. I actually want this other woman, but she doesn't like me back, so I'm just settling for you. If you don't say that to her face, that's manipulation. That's taking advantage of her. And so much of the time, men are projecting exactly what they do to women. They'll project that and say that that's what women do, when that's how their brains work. Because if they were in the same position, they're like, they would do that.
Say some men don't like women for real. I'm not questioning your sexuality. I mean, you don't see women as people. There are certain men that only see you as an object to have sex with, an object for status or power, but they don't see you as a human being. They don't see you as equal. That's why they want you to serve them. That's why they keep throwing this word submissive around every which way, because some men don't want a wife, they want a slave. Some men don't want a mind, they want a trophy. Some men don't want your heart, they want your box. What I'm telling you, lady, is run fast as away from these men. And I'm going to give you the run fast as away from these men starter pack. Any man that excessively uses the word delusional, run away from this man. Women are delusional. They delusional. These delusional women. Starter pack. He excessively uses the word accountability.
Yes.
He probably don't like women that much. Accountability. Run fast. He probably don't like women that much.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love coming to Costco with your wife? 0.
This is a prime example of how men like to make their partners the butt of their jokes.
Alright, Shelly. That's not her name. I'm not even about to let you get this bullshit off, because who wants to go to the fucking grocery store? I don't want to go either. So I don't feel like this is a personal attack. I don't want to go with a boyfriend. I want to go by myself. Like Costco, Walmart, Target, all these places. I hate going to the grocery store or these big box stores. I don't want to fucking go. So why would they enjoy that? I don't think that's a reflection of how they feel about their wives or how they're trying to make them the butt of a joke. Like, I just feel like sometimes people just look too deeply into these situations. I think it's important to just watch your language. I understand it's difficult to do because I'm sure I'm guilty of this as well, okay? I'm not a perfect person. I'm very flawed. Let's be fucking clear, okay? So definitely feel free to call me out if I do it as well. But I feel like just making the claim that, oh, most people do this, or, you know, most of the time men would, like, how do you fucking know what's happening most of the time? I feel like saying a lot, there's not a big problem with that, because, I mean, you can say a lot, I guess. I mean, there are a lot of people in the world, so, you know, a lot of people do fall under every single category. There are a lot of cheaters. There are a lot of, you know, abusers, a lot of, you know, whatever. So, sure, you can use that word, but I have an issue with when people say most of the time, or most men, or most. That is what I have an issue with. You are so dumb. You are so very dumb and don't understand how the world works. So there's that. But very interesting content nonetheless, because some people do fall under these categories. So be careful out there. Protect yourselves. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.